So this is my video of how to do the Ariana Grande look from Dangerous Woman tour, and well, this was a challenge. So here I studied how the construction was, looking for many photos, and I will use my Ariana Grande doll that I did, repainted and sculpted. So first things first, I wanted to do the boots. So I tried to do like a pattern with cardboard. That I saw this in a tutorial here on YouTube and it was very helpful. So I do the shape and then I cut it in a very stretchy fabric in matte. I like to put it on the leg first to check if the size is right. Then, well, my machine needed the black cord. There you go. And then it's sewn it like the gloves on the Ariana Grande that I did before with the shape. I like to keep like trying to see if the shape fits, and then when I want to do the other one, I like to do it next to the one before, so it's the most similar as possible. Here I retouch with a white to see the shapes that are not exactly the same as the other one. And here it's like you need to turn it around, inside out, that, and I try the other one. So what I wanted to use as a base for the shoe is shoes that I had for toner dolls, so the shape of the feet would work, and then with glue is glue it to the kind of sock that we did, that it's a boot. I put some rubber bands to attach the boot to the base, so it can dry out. In this video I will not paint the whole shoe, but I want to paint it black. And here we have the vinyl. Vinyl, it was the material that it was used for the original one, so that's what I used. And I tried to check some patterns to see the shapes. I always advise to check patterns for real people, and then you can adapt it to the doll form. As you know, I'm not very precise, so I like to sketch fast on the fabric and cut the shapes. I keep cutting and cutting over the body to see if it fits, and if it fits, I like to sew it because it works. I'm very sorry for the camera, because I guess that I touched it with my feet and I didn't notice it, so I'm out of focus for some time. I'm really sorry. Here I'm just sewing the three shapes that I did, one for each side on the front and one big one on the back. And here for the sleeves, my advice is, as I said, to check a pattern for a human form, and it's very easy. It's just straight with a large curve on the top. I'm not very good at sewing sleeve on tops, because there is the curve from the shoulder. It's the opposite on the sleeve, so sewing it by hand for me it's very hard, and I always do it by hand. So now that you don't see it, I always do it by hand, but first I just sewed one side so it looks like a tube. Here I was trying to do like a gusset, that it's a little piece of fabric that it's under the arm, and she have it in the original jacket, but I was trying to figure it out how to do it, and in the end I didn't use it. I'm planning to maybe sew it over, that it's not practical, but it would work for just the doll, so for the looks. So I may add it later. But here, yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm doing the sleeves. It's something that it takes a lot of time, because when you do it by hand, if the separation when you're sewing it's too wide, once you put it on, it will look like holes in the shoulder. So it needs to be very close, and you need to make it as tight as possible, so it would look more like a machine sewing ish. Well, I just cut the scene because it was too long for not see something. I tried to explain what I did, and I hope it was enough, so let's keep going. and now I'm just sewing the sleeve with the torso. That I can do by machine. It's just do the corner from the inside, and that is very easy. So now I'm trying on to see if it fits. You need to be very careful where you put the needle, because in this kind of fabric that it's plastic, once you do a hole, it will stay there. So here you can see a photo of how it looks for now. The squares that you have on the front needs to be very big, because later on is the thing that you will fold to have the fold of the jacket of the color. So here I'm trying to do the shape of the skirt. Well, I mean, it's still the jacket, but it looks like a skirt. I try to measure it to have at least longer than the back, that the back will be longer. The shape of this kind of skirts, it's always shorter on the front and longer on the back. And the first layer, that is the one that is on the top, it has the corners of the front like a corner, in a square corner. I'm trying to see how it would look. It's what I said, you need to work like it is a skirt, then you will sew it to the jacket. And I'm trying to cut every time to check the length on the front with the one in the back. Here I checked that where I needed to sew the, I will say, skirt, that it needs to be in the middle of the back. And this is very important, because the front, it doesn't have the opening in the middle, it's a little bit to the side. Here I sew by hand the waist with the jacket, and here I'm trying it, and it looks like a raincoat that it's like knee length. Here I'm taking some photos because I was trying to figure it out how to do the color. As I said, what I used is a pattern for human form, thanks to Erica on Instagram, that she was the one to send me this, because I was a little bit confused. So here I'm sewing the middle part to check how long it would be to make the color. This fabric was kinda hard to work, because sometimes when you sew it, I don't know why, but it's stretched. Sometimes I tend to go too small, and well, it is what happened. It was a little bit too small. The original jacket is like very big. Here I'm trying to sketch the color over the other color, the one that is on the back and just has like the big spikes on the sides. In this case I went very big, because I wasn't sure how to do it. I tried to do like a huge one first, but I realized it didn't work in what I was doing. I think it was my technique. Here I'm cutting a little bit bigger the space for the color. I thought that this was helpful because the hole that it has, the original one, it's very big, but it didn't help, because it was so big that once I sewn it, it didn't have space to be oversized, so it was just the size of the doll. But well, still, thankfully the fabric is very stretchy, so it worked. Here I advise you to have a lot of cord that is black, because you will use tons of it, and I was running out of it. Here still trying to figure it out, a lot of thinking, and then I try to do like a straight line. The straight line worked better. So I folded and I drew like spike, a corner, a very long one, and I sewn it to turn it inside out and have like a clean one. Then I checked many photos to see how big it is. I saw that I needed the jacket on because it was kind of confusing. So I put the jacket on and I checked how big I wanted, because once you sewn it, is what I said, this kind of fabric, it will stay with a hole. Just a lot of checking, and I realized that I needed to use like half of the color I did. So once I finished with both sides, I would sew the color on the jacket. First I do one side and then the other one, because I wanted to be like in control. Sometimes with this fabric it was very out of my control. So my advice is always one step at a time. I tried to change the stand, because some of them was kind of problematic with the jacket. In the end, I used the bigger stand, because it made her feel a little bit less skinny on the waist, and that was good, because the head is so big that I needed that. Here I'm just trying to see how it works with the color, the length of the skirt. It's what I said, the color, it was so stiff that it went up, so later on I would fix that. Here I'm just trying to sew it together, because as I said, there were two parts for the color, and here I sewn it together. And I sewn the parts, the edges, so it would be a little bit more flat and it would look more like the original design. I'm still cutting the skirt, because as I said, it's the front is shorter and the back is longer, so I still need to do that, because the edges are not sewn. I try to keep it longer than what it should be, because once you sew it, you will take some inches up. It is very important to fold it when you cut it, because you want the two sides the exact same. Here I cut like a huge fabric, a little bit like the skirt, but this one it was less round, because this one had like a very long train. This is the bottom part of the skirt, so it needed to be huge. This one it will be just more like a train. It's not so much to the sides. So when I was trying to pin it, I was just trying to pin it to the hips. And this is the middle one, that weird to say, but it's the hardest one, because the front are a curve, it's rounded, it's not the corners that we had in the first one, that it was very geometric. So there you go with the curve, and as I said, fold it always, because it needs to be same one side and the other. Here I was trying to do the edges of the first layer, but I tried to do like the normal one. Here I'm thinking I tried to do like the normal one, that it's just folded and sewn it, but the fabric, it really wasn't helping. It's what I said, it was like stretching weird, so I needed to unsew it like I did right now, and I layer it with the same fabric that I used for the boots, that it's more matte. So what I did here is to do the seamless one. It's just sewn the same shape as the top with the bottom one, then cut the edges like right now, and so it's very clean, and then turn it inside out, so you have very clean edge. But it wasn't enough. Because it looked bulky, and this fabric, it's better not to iron because it could melt. So what I was trying to do is something that I've never done. is once I turn it inside out, I was sewing the edges. So I tried to make it as flat as possible to stretch the matte fabric inside, so I have a little bit of the outer fabric on the edge, and then sewn very closely, so it would stay flat and it looks very clean. Thankfully, this technique, I didn't know how to use it, but I found it was great because it looks exactly how it should be. The original one had that stitches from the outer side, so it's exactly how it should look. I will show you right now a close-up to see how it looks from the inside. So it's very clean and it looks perfect from the outside. It just looks with one line. And it's layered. Here the main problem that I had is that I tried to sew the inner part to the waist, and being so small at first, adding more fabric, it was almost impossible to close. It was possible, but it was so stretched that I was afraid to break it. So first I lost a lot of time sewing by hand to the waist, but it really didn't work. So what I did later on, I'm going ahead of myself, but it was cutting the excess fabric from the waist, so I would have like a huge gap between the end of the inner layer to the waist, and that fabric I can't sew it to the skirts because it is very noticeable, because the fabric, the shiny one, it's very sensitive. So once you sew something on, it will appear with a hole or something going inside. It's really weird. Here I'm trying to just make it work, but as I said, it didn't. So what I did is use glue. It's something that I try not to use, but in this case there was no way. It was the only way to keep it there. So with glue, what I did is the edges of the top from the inside, I glue it like it was flat. We don't want an excess to go down because it would be noticeable from the outside. Here I'm trying to like press it with my hand. It is very important to do it with my hand because it's important that it will stay there, but I can't iron. And here I would do the second layer. So it's same as the first one. It's adding the fabric that I used for the boots, for the inner part, cutting the edges, turning inside out, and then sew the edge again. I lost the footage of doing this for the bigger fabric, the one that is the train, but I mean, thankfully it's same old. Here I'm doing it for the middle one. Oh my god, this video will be so long. I'm really sorry. So same, it's cutting the edges from the top and then with glue keep it in place. So I was trying it on and thankfully cutting the fabric from the waist, from the inner part, it was very helpful because even though it's tight, it's not as tight. Here I realized that the color was so high that I needed to sew it to the jacket. I did like one little stitch in the collar and then to the front. It's something that it will be hidden, so it's not possible to see, and it looks way better and way more realistic than not that color from Greece. The lower part, the thing that is very important is that it's not like a full skirt, it's more like a train. So I did an almost rounded shape, but then folded to the inside. So when you look it from the front, it will look like the shiny fabric from the front too. Here is where I wanted to do like the bigger shape, but yes, no battery, so we stopped. Here I'm sewing the button. It's a pressed on. It is very important to do it like on the edge. So when you sew it, you're really careful that it's not possible to see, because it's what I said, once you sew in this shiny fabric, you will see holes. The other part is very easy, but you need to do like trying to close it to see where it would fit. It is very important, because once you sew it, it stays there. So here you have it. I was very happy thinking, oh my god, yes, I finished. But no. Little did I know, once I checked my sketches and more photos, that she had pockets. So I would do like fake pockets in this case, because I think it wouldn't work in this case for any photos to put the hand on the pocket, so I think it wasn't needed. So I did like little shape with a cardboard to have the size and shape I wanted. So I did the same technique inside out, just three sides, so I can turn it inside out, and then it's just sewn one side on the jacket, folded and sewn by hand, just to make it as go down like the color. I lost all the footage from the final moment of doing this, but in the end that is very easy, and it's the same thing that we did for the color. So there you go, the complete doll. It was a very interesting doll to do, but so much work. The repaint, the sculpting of the face, because the mold, it wasn't perfect. I needed to paint most of the skin. The color, it's a ring that I cut it on the back, so it looks like jewelry, and I love how it looks. The swimsuit that it's wearing is from Toner, and it really works for just the thing that I needed, because the original one has like a t-shirt or something like this that it's almost impossible to see. You see just one boob. So there you go, and I really hope you like it. You can subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and if you want to put a thumbs up, I would be more than happy. And if you want to comment more things that you want to see, or if you like it or something, I'm here. So thank you very much. If you want to find me in my Instagram, it's Dreamedolls as here, and see you next time.